why so serious? And yes, I'm asking in my Joker voice, why so serious? Let's put a smile on that face tonight, okay? Why so fucking serious, okay? How are you, me beautiful, beautiful gente? Welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. I am YouTube's bad girl, so they say, Jen. Let's take care of a little business. If you're new to the block, welcome, new subby. Buckle up. The ride gets bumpy here every now and then. If you want to reach me somewhere outside of here, if you want to see more of me, my body, my mind, my reels, my funny, my life, On the Block with Jen on Instagram, or On the Block with Jen at TikTok, or On the Block with Jen at Gmail if you want to contact me about a collab or a topic you'd like me to discuss. I am open at On the Block with Jen at Gmail. Don't go in there fucking around, all right? That's for business or for a topic. All righty. Thank you. You like my glasses? They match my shirt. You know I had to represent the Bronx, right? All right, guys. How are you? How are you? How are you? I hope you guys were digging my stream yesterday. I didn't cam up. I was all voice. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. It was different for me. Okay. It was my first time. But I liked it. It was calm. Okay. I was laying in the bed. I said, I don't want to leave my people hanging. Okay. I want to do a stream, but I'm not going to cam up. It was late. I had the lights dim. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, let me check in with my people. And it was enjoyable for me. I hope it was enjoyable for you guys. You don't have to see my face all the time. You guys know what I look like. So I liked it. I liked it a lot. And just so you know, even if I don't cam up, you guys are welcome to come up when I do those late night streams. You guys want to come up on the panel and speak. It's not just me. You guys can come up. There are a couple things to cover tonight. Before I get into Wakanda, why so serious? Right? Oh, it's getting serious about Wakanda. I thought I was just going to see a movie and enjoy myself for 3 hours. But the internets are interneting. Everybody's gone crazy about race and identity and agendas in the Black community and the Mexican community and the indigenous community and the Native Americans. It is, you know what I mean? It is complete pandemonium about this movie, right? Let's cover a few topics. I'm still very much intrigued by Jeff Bezos giving away his $124 billion empire. Have you guys heard this? Jeff Bezos is giving away his fortune. He said it himself, out the horse's mouth. And he already started. He gave Dolly Parton $100 million for her charities. So are you guys in his DMs yet? Are you in his girlfriend's DMs yet? I'm sure a lot of people are, now that they know he's giving away all this money. I'm sure everybody and their mama is like, me, give me some, me. Thought that was very interesting. So I guess Jeff Bezos is tired of being beyond wealthy. Probably wants to throw on some Crocs, you know what I mean? And go, I don't know, rock skipping or skinny dipping or I don't know, tree hugging. I don't know what the man's going to do, but apparently, money ain't his thing anymore. Wonder how his girlfriend feels about that now, right? I'm sure she got with him because, he's not exactly a looker, but, $124 billion makes a man very attractive to a woman. So I wonder how she feels about that. I'm curious, right? Not really curious, who the fuck cares, but just curious light, like light beer. So yeah, Bezos is giving away his $124 billion, which I think is it's unprecedented. It's fucking amazing. It is fucking amazing. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about? Do you want some of that money? Are you going to slide in his DMs and be like, I got this idea. I wrote a script. I'm thinking about it now. What do you guys think about that? So that's a lot of moolah. Joanna Washington said tax write-offs still generous though. You think he's giving away $124 billion for a tax write-off? Why don't he just keep his $124 billion and just stay wealthy? Why does Bezos need a tax write-off if he's giving away his fortune, Joanna? Elaborate, please. I'd love to hear it. Why does he need a tax write-off if he's giving away $124 billion? Aren't tax write-off usually like going the way around to get over on giving away some money? Okay. So LS Darkhoim, I don't know how to say your name. He says that money didn't even keep his last wife. Well, let's be clear. His last wife left with a lump sum of that money. So she knew that she didn't have to stay with him to enjoy that money, which is different from Lauren Sanchez, who's the new girl, right? So Bezos' ex knew she could bounce and get a lump sum of that money, and a lump sum she did get. So she didn't have to stay with him for that. But the new one, not so much, right? So yeah. So I wanted to mention, I mentioned it lightly yesterday, the shooting that happened at the University of Virginia inside a charter bus. I had originally thought that the shooter ambushed them, but apparently he was riding on the bus with them. And the shooter is connected to a hazing incident from way back that didn't go anywhere because witnesses didn't come forward. So I don't know. I'm just thinking it's a football team. That's who got shot. I'm wondering if the guy that shot him, maybe he was hazed by them. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. I don't know for sure. He hasn't said why yet, or maybe he has and we haven't got the news, but there's still no motive as to why he went, he snapped on a charter bus on the way back from a field trip and shot 5 people, killing 3, right? 1 in critical, 1 got sent home from the hospital. So we still don't know why he completely snapped and went ham on the bus and decided a charter bus is a good place to have a shootout. We don't know why. Unfortunately, those 3 football players are gone. They are dead, which is horrible because that's the last phone call you want to get. Your child is off in college somewhere and you think they're okay. And then you get a phone call. Your child was shot dead on a charter bus on the way back from a field trip. I'm sure it's the last thing, their parents expected to hear. So rest in peace to those gentlemen. Absolutely horrible. But it's the planet we live on and the country we live in, right? So on and so forth. If you guys have more information about that, I would love to hear it because your ears is probably more to the street today than mine was, to be honest. I did a little bit of running around. What's up, Veganista? What's up, Kid Murray? Again, guys, I'll drop the link if you want to come up and talk about some of these topics with me. It's going to get hot in a minute, as you know. It always gets hot on the block. And I'm about to hurt some feelings and offend some people, per usual, right? But getting offended is good. It gets the blood going, gets the people going. Gets the people going, right? Right? It raises your heart rate. You're like, yes, let's get offended. Feels good. What's up, DJ Soul Buck? So let's talk about this. I did want to, go over a couple of the current events, but then I really want to get into this Wakanda thing though, because I'm like, it's juicy and I'm seeing a lot of things happen online about it. Speaking of online about it, Takeoff's family continues to make demands to get answers about who killed them. I still don't know why they haven't put up a reward. I still don't know why. Like his aunt went on Instagram saying, I demand to know what happened to my nephew. Find out what happened to my nephew. I don't understand why they're not putting up money. They got it. They got the money. I keep saying that over and over again. If you could spend 5 and 6 figures on jewelry, which the Migos has, okay, then you can put up a reward and then you don't have to ask people online to help you because then people will be turned in by their own cousins and mothers and brothers. Put up the money. I still don't understand why there's no reward money. Those guys would have been turned in yesterday. So I don't get the demand for, I want to know what happened to take up. Put up the money. You will know within 24 hours. It is that simple. I've seen people with a lot less put up money to find killers and the killers get turned in. Okay. I don't know, some of you may remember the Ray Caruth story. Ray Caruth killed Sharika Adams. She was pregnant with his baby. He didn't want to pay child support. So he set her up to get killed. They ambushed her, killed her in the car. Baby survived. Unfortunately, the baby now is, he had brain damage. So he's not all together there. But the point I'm trying to make is when that reward went out and when they were threatening taking his mama's house, okay, his mama was like, you can find him at X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. Y'all not taking my house, right? Money talks. So I don't know why they're not fucking putting up money to find this killer. don't understand. I don't get it. They got it. They are the epitome of y'all got it. Okay. So with that said, again, I'm not spending too much time on the celebrities. I'm going to bring up my gents. I see Big Truck backstage. I see Tristan backstage. I want to tear into this Wakanda thing, and I want to tell you a story about something that happened to me on Facebook that you guys are going to find interesting, and I want your opinion on. Mama. Somebody's texting me. You know what happens here. Forgive me for chewing like a cow in your ears and eyes, but this is a Starburst. And you know how you got to chew on these. All right, so let me bring up Tristan and Big Chuck.
Oh,
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, everyone in the bipolar Black community. Hello.
I'm going to talk about that.
Listen, they still coming at me about that. My inbox is wild.
Well, look. Before I get into Wakanda, why so serious? Let me know if any of you guys want to touch on anything I said in the beginning. If not, we'll move on to Wakanda, why so serious.
Yeah, I'll wait till you mention why, what the issue with Wakanda is.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. So, what I've been seeing online is kind of strange from the normal backlash or critique that movies got. So, I'll tell you what I've been seeing, and then you can tell me what you think. So, I've seen, what's up, World Kings? So, this is the type of shit I'm seeing. I'm seeing Black men saying that there's an agenda to diminish them by putting women in powerful roles, that Marvel is doing this on purpose, and also the Woman King did that on purpose. But it didn't stop there. I saw Black women saying that Marvel has an agenda to destroy the image of the family nucleus in the Black community. Very specifically, I spoke to a single Black mother, and she was saying that she doesn't like being single, but films like that push the agenda that Black women don't need men, and they killed off T'Challa. These are real things that are being said. Marvel killed off T'Challa, chose not to recast him, so Nakia can be a single mother and send, once again, the message of single Black mother. Doesn't stop there. Namor, right? He is of Mexican descent. He's portraying an indigenous person in Wakanda, but he is of Mexican descent. So now Mexicans are claiming him, and indigenous and native people are pissed off that they're saying that Namor is Latin or Mexican. They're saying, do not call him Mexican or Latin. He is indigenous, and it is an insult to us when you say that Namor is Latin or Mexican. The word aquapapi has now been coined to describe Namor. Aquapapi. As you know, papi is a term and translated to English, daddy. Like, oh, look at daddy. But in Spanish, it's papi. So they're calling Namor aquapapi. So all hell has broken loose. And I'm like, why so serious? Right? It's a fucking movie, but it seems like the future of movie watching has now been turned into, the present and the future is going to be turned into just dissecting it to find agendas. Now, I sat there 2 hours and 40 minutes. I enjoyed myself very much. Okay?
Really? That movie was dumb.
I thought some parts dragged. There was a little long, but here's the thing. When I go in to watch a comic book movie, Big Truck, I'm not expecting Shakespeare. I'm not expecting a thriller. I'm not expecting Spielberg. It's a fucking comic book movies. People running around in fucking tights.
No, I hear you. I'm not expecting Shakespeare either, but I'm just saying the first movie was good. Some people overreacted, and in my opinion, it was okay. But the first one was okay. There was a lot of stupid shit in that movie that people weren't willing to call out. But I understand what you're saying. You're not expecting Shakespeare. You're not expecting like nuclear physics or nothing. But this movie, I mean, there was just so many things. Now, as far as like to address your thing about people going just so that they can get offended, you got to understand a lot of these people got nothing to talk about. They got nothing to write about, so they have to find something to. It's like me personally. I used to write and make auto reviews, right? Mm-hmm. And it occurred to me that first of all, most of these the people who review cars, they don't own any of this stuff. They just drive it around the block, and then they have to come up with criticisms of it in order to make their review stand out. Mm-hmm. So now what you're doing is you're looking at all of these critics who have to find something to either be offended about, or they mm-hmm. have to find something to criticize, because mm-hmm. if they don't, then there's nothing that their review does to stand out. And that's what it really comes down to. Now, it's funny that you're mentioning this about Agua Papi. I haven't heard any of that. Like, I actually heard more about the girl who was in the new Predator movie and how, she was Native American and whatnot. They actually talked a little bit more about that. And it was really unfortunate that they didn't get a theatrical showing, because that would have been the biggest Native American movie in history. And it would have done really well. But as far as this movie goes, I'm sorry. It was like, I kind of liked the setup. I liked what they did to bring Killmonger back into it, to bring him back as a memory. I think it was stupid to kill him off in the first movie, because mm-hmm. realistically, he was the strongest thing that movie had in it. Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, in my opinion, he was actually the weakest link of that movie. Killmonger was I'm sorry. Killmonger stole the show because, first of all, Killmonger was the sociopathic African American who's out for blood and revenge. Mm-hmm. So his character automatically resonated. Even with the white reviewers, his character resonated. Now, Black Panther, he was just your cardboard cutout. Yeah, I'm a stereotypical African guy playing a superhero. He didn't do anything really for the movie. He really didn't. But Killmonger, he had the whole goddamn movie to himself, had the whole thing. So I really did appreciate that they brought him back in the dream or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm disgusted that they killed him off. This whole thing about all these young girls inventing everything when they're fucking 3 and 4 and 5, I thought that was stupid. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, if you really wanted to develop them and not make them Mary Sue characters, there was so many other directions you could have gone. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, pass the mic, as far as the underwater Mexican, what was it? Cotton Colton. I can't even pronounce the name. Kutan Cotton. What was his name?
Kukulkan.
I was watching the movie. I couldn't even pronounce the shit while I was listening to it. But I thought that was a decent angle to take the movie in, and it was good that they brought somebody new in and everything. I just think they took the whole shit I just think they took it in a bad direction. And on the back of that Woman King movie, for these people criticizing, they're just killing off black male strength in movies. Yeah, I can understand where they're getting that from. But my thing is, yeah, it was a woman-dominated movie mm-hmm. run by whites who are going to walk home with all that money. Mm-hmm. Blacks are living vicariously through these films. We are not Africans. There is no Wakanda. We are not Africans. We do not live like that. And these people are desperate to vicariously live through these movies. Listen, if that floats your boat, fantastic. All right, I'm gonna pass the mic now. I had to get up here to say that.
Okay, so here's the thing. There are, I mentioned this yesterday, there are articles and videos dedicated to Hollywood, right? Talking about Hollywood going the feminism route, right? Because it's making money. As I am woman, hear me roar. So I just think that, Hollywood is a business, okay? It's a business. They're not in the business of feelings. They're not in the business of comforting. They're in the business of money, right? So if now there's this new wave of woman and I am woman, hear me warn, we this and we that, and we everything, history repeats itself. Everybody's burning their bras and they're gender fluid and non-gender conforming and non-binary. All that shit's going on. I just see Hollywood going in the direction of, oh, okay, let's get some vaginas in seats. Let's start putting out a bunch of films that are led by women. Terminator. Last Terminator had 3 female leads. I didn't watch it because I thought that was corny for me, just my taste. I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. Now Terminators, it's all about the women, right? The last Mad Max Fury Road was a woman, right? Charlize Theron. It was Tom Hardy, but it was all about Charlize Theron. So it's not just Black films that are doing this. And I had a conversation with Haran earlier. He made a good point. He was like, Black men are now online complaining about the patriarchy, and Hollywood is trying to castrate Black men. But Haran said Black men don't have a patriarchy. They're actually the face of defeatism. They're actually the face of men that were conquered. So why would Hollywood put movies out to castrate them? Now, he said that. I don't know if he's coming up later, but that was his point of view. So it's much ado about nothing. So it's bad if Black people are portrayed as thugs and prostitutes and killers. And it's also bad when they're portrayed as strong warriors and kings. Like, can there be agendas?
Did you see Mad Max?
Yes.
That was a good movie. Even despite the feminism push, that was a good movie. Terminator was kind of, I mean, first of all, we only go to see Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's the bottom line. We only went to see Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes. That movie was dumb, but that's to be expected. It's just, they're trying to see basically how much money they can get from the Terminator franchise to fill seats. But Marvel superheroes done well, Wesley Snipes' Blade is pretty much number one when it comes to a Black superhero done well. And the writing was on point. But Jen, again, when I say this Wakanda Forever was stupid, I mean, think about the lines. The Black girl that they saved, who's the lead scientist, she's like, oh yeah, they told me I was never going to do nothing, so I invented this. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, where did they get these stupid? They said I couldn't do it. They said I couldn't find vibranium, so I did it. I'm like, where the fuck did they get these stupid ass lines? That movie was dumb. Oh my God. I know somebody else is going to talk. There's a YouTuber named Mauler, and they have a channel called EFAP, Every Frame of Pause. They talked for 8 hours about how stupid this movie was, and they pointed out everything. And if you had a chance, you should listen to it, because I swear to God, it was freaking hilarious. But I'll let the next guy go. I'm sorry. That movie was dumb.
Okay, before I pass the mic, thank you for the super chat, Juwana Washington. Anyone else want to support the show and keep the church lights on? Hit me in the super chat or on the Block with Jen Cash App. Juwana, what you got for us tonight? Juwana is always bringing the big guns. Jen, the more money you make, the more taxes you pay, which is why wealthy people give money away for tax write-offs. You don't want to be sitting on a lot of cash or assets in your name. Ironically, Wakanda sucks, by the way. Yes, I'm well aware of tax write-offs and all of that. I'm well aware for a long time. But when you say not sitting on a lot of money, he said he's giving away 124 billion. That's all his money. So he didn't say he was giving away half, or he said he's giving away 124 billion. So it seems to me like he doesn't want to sit on any of it at all. So that's a little different than wealthy people saying, well, I don't want to sit on all this money. Let me give some away. Like he says he's giving away all of it, which is weird, right? It's a little strange. It's a little weird. So that's what he said. It's cool Khan. Cool Khan. Big Truck, before I pass the mic to Tristan or World Kings, I have to agree with you. I didn't like the lines of the little scientist. I was like, I understand she was supposed to be like the comic relief. But I thought those lines were kind of corny.
No. She was not supposed to be a comic relief. She was supposed
Really?
to be taken 100% seriously
Really?
as the 15-year-old who built the Iron Man suit and stole Iron Man's technology or copied it or whatever. So she built her own arc reactor. She built everything. She found Kukulkan. She found the vibranium. She did all of this, and she built her first machine at 3 years old when most kids can't even shit properly at 3 years old. I mean, come on, really? I
She
mean,
was
like,
special.
who wrote this shit? And by the way, the same thing applies to the first movie. Shuri is the super genius before she's like 5 years old. I'm like, who wrote this shit?
But it's good for our little girls, Big
No,
Chuck.
it's not. No, it is not. That's the worst thing you can do to little girls, to make them marry Sues. That's the worst thing you can do to little girls. Now, I've seen movies where they've taken young girls and they've made strong movie characters out of young girls. But this was not one of them. They put women in it to put women in it. And I'm sorry. No, I'm really sorry. Now I gotta say I like the movie. Go ahead.
Let's get some other opinions up in here. Afro
Let
Universe,
me
thank you so much for supporting the show per usual. Thank you so much, Afro Universe. Who wants to talk next? Big Truck said a lot, man.
let me hop up in here.
Okay.
How you doing, Jen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. What's good, fellas? I was trying to hop up in here. Because you said if anybody had anything to say about what you said earlier. I had caught the last part you said about takeoff.
Yes.
And about offering reward money.
Yes. Talk to me.
They're gonna solve that case without it.
Of course they are.
They're already getting to the bottom of it. They've already like kind of zeroed in on, like who the guys were affiliated with or whatever. It's only a matter of time before they catch up with them. I believe that she was probably saying they want to know who it is for other reasons. Like they kind of want to settle it their own way, because the Migos, Quavo and Offset, they're not going to offer no reward money because that's kind of like police activity. When you're from a certain type of understanding, you're not going to do anything like that. They're the ones with the money. Now, I don't know if his family, his mom and them, they're fair game. They can do whatever they want. Now, if they want to put out that reward money and boom, okay, yeah, they can put out that reward money and somebody may come forward. They're going to come forward regardless, though. They're going to solve that case, or that dude's going to end up missing or whatever. We already know this story ends the same way at almost damn near every time.
Every time.
As far as, I just wanted to say that, as far as the movie, I haven't seen it yet. Me and my kids, I haven't seen it as of yet. Me and my kids are probably going to watch it this weekend or something. Okay. I want to say this. I hear everybody saying the first one was better, but rarely are second and third and fourth and fifth installments of films as good as the first one. You have some of those ones, like I think, what was it, Rush Hour 2 was up there. You have some films that are good. My whole thing is just with this internet world, and everybody is a click away from injecting their opinion on whatever it may be. You're gonna have every spectrum of opinion about these movies. My whole thing is I don't see the problem with them making it the way they did, because you got to understand the main character, he had his untimely death. The other main character was killed off. Well, not the other main character, but Michael B. Jordan, the Killmonger, he was killed off. I mean, so you kind of deal with what other storyline are you going to bring? And I mean, what's wrong with bringing whatever they bought? You remember that the next one may be different. It may be more male based or whatever the case. I just believe that they did with the best storyline that they wanted to come up. And we got to remember, these are the professionals. We always want to talk about this and that, but nobody sits up here and makes their own movie. You know what I'm saying? If you want your own story painted, or you want to have something that's to your liking, then go make it or support somebody that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Yeah, so but as far as the backlash, that's gonna happen. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with uh that they just made it because it's like, oh, fuck black men, and we gonna do this in the faces of black men, and fuck y'all, and this is why we making it. I believe it's more what you said. Also, I believe they did it because they know that that's where the money is. You know what I mean? But I believe that either way, I believe that they could have did whatever they wanted to, whatever storyline they would have came up with. This movie would have made money.
Absolutely, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like just to answer your question, I don't see what the whole complaint is about. But it doesn't matter. The movie could have been made flawlessly. Somebody would have still had something to complain about it. You know what I mean? I just believe that.
And I understand, art is, what's the word? Subjective, objective. What's the saying? Art is what? Subjective, objective. Come on, my brain's
subjective.
On okay,
subjective.
Okay, art is subjective. I get that. So some people are gonna like this and not gonna like that, but the conversations are not even about the art. Like I feel like what Big Truck was just saying, that was about the art. That was about the art. I don't like this. They shouldn't have killed this guy off. I thought it was silly that this girl was a genius at 3. That's about the art.
That's objectively bad writing.
Okay, but again, it's just about the film. What's going on online?
It's not about agendas, is what she's saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's not about.
Wait, but I'm sorry. Wait, did you see the movie, Jen?
I saw the movie.
Oh, you saw it.
Yeah.
The cinematography had problems. All those rewinds and those bad.
Okay, Big Truck, I understand. You're talking about the film itself. What I'm talking about is the buzz online is literally about the agenda against black people.
Okay, I got you.
Like Marvel is against black people, and Haran is here, and I would love for Haran to touch on what he said in them DMs, because it was very, very interesting. Like I'm telling you, I'm getting into debates with people online because I had to dissect this for the show, but people are literally saying, and people are getting blocked and people are getting cussed out because they're saying that Marvel is anti-black and they're purposely putting in certain storylines to castrate black men, to put single black mothers on a pedestal so women could want to stay single and not respect black men. Like these are real conversations.
But my last word is also what you said earlier was true. It's not like we're gonna take Black Panther and whatever they do in that, we're gonna take it into real life. It's not that serious. So it's, even if it was about that, we're not gonna take that. We're not gonna take that from the movie and be like, okay, well, yeah, just because it was like that in Black Panther, now it's got to be like that in real life, y'all.
Right.
So, yeah, and I'll pass the mic.
Thank you. And there's even an Aqua Papi Twitter page now. There's an Aqua Papi Twitter page.
I am not understanding the issue out of all of this. I think it's a movie. It's not that there is no agenda. It's crazy how it's an agenda, but everybody knows about it. That's one that makes no other sense in my life. They're pushing an agenda, but you know about it. So how are they pushing it? So, see, this is.
But ignorance doesn't escape ignorance doesn't escape the observation of some classic behavior. That's all. So if you can sit down and say, okay, this is propaganda and this is for social influencing, and we see you doing this. It doesn't mean that they have to be so diabolical that it's not observable. But that's just me.
So
that's true. But that's a conditioning thing, though. That means you have to do that. You have to condition. That means it has to be consistently pushed. Like, I don't know why people just can't go and watch a movie. Like, people get upset about. I guarantee you, if Michael B. Jordan just said, you know what, I'm just going to be Black Panther, nobody would have cared. It's just because it's a woman, and everybody just has an issue because it was a woman. That's my honest opinion.
No, but that's what should have happened. He should have been the Golden Jaguar. They killed him in the first movie. They shouldn't have done that.
I agree with that.
Who knew Chadwick Boseman was going to die in real life?
Did any of y'all follow the comics?
My man died from cancer. Chadwick Boseman died. I don't think they expected that man to die before the second movie.
Good writing would have written Michael B. Jordan in as the Golden Jaguar. That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, the problem is they made the mistake of killing him off. Even if I would have appreciated it if the Thanos snap and the unsnap brought him back, but they were determined to go with some bullshit storyline they just came out of their ass with, and it was obvious how badly these people, they don't know how to write. It's obvious they don't know how to write.
But I'll say this before, because I do want to ask Brother Ish something before I pass the mic to Haran, because I know Haran be pressed for time. But I do want to say this. The most exciting moments for me in the 2 hours and 41 minutes was when the Aquabobby came out the water and when Killmonger was on the screen.
Yes, thank you.
Two most exciting. Everything else was like, nah, 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 nah.
And Jen, how did you feel about M'Baku?
Oh my God!
When he was on the screen, did you notice that when those men were on the screen, they stole the show?
Yes, I will concede. Yes,
the show sucked
because M'Baku is like every time he's on, I'm like, we need more of him. We need more of him.
They could have put him in the Panther suit.
Like they give, well, I don't know about that, but
he's a big guy.
They give him like 1 or 2 lines, and I'm like, bring him back. Right, but they're so impactful. I'm like, bring them back. Like, why you give them 1 or 2 lines and you have them say anyway? But that's another story. Brother Ish, when on the subject of agendas, so are you in agreement? Do you think that Wakanda there's an agenda for Black single mothers and is Marvel trying to castrate Black men?
I think that Marvel has a history of that type of behavior all the way, dating back to the early comics. So I wouldn't be surprised, along with their affiliation now with Disney, which Disney has always been anti-Black. So that being said, I love Ryan Coogler. I think he's an exceptional director. I think he's a very creative and very intelligent. But I think that he's also handed an agenda of, because they've gone so far off the canon of what Black Panther's storyline is about. I'm a Black Panther collector. I've been since a child, very much into the comic. I've hated both movies. I think they were just trash, and not because Ryan Coogler wasn't a great director, but because that the direction of how he was painted into a corner in relationship to how Marvel just started telling all these stories of Civil War and the whole nine. Like there's a dynamic that the child that T'Challa has is from Storm. It's not from from his war dog. So I mean, that aspect alone is like, why did they build out that storyline, which was tied into Civil War, which was reason why Storm and Black Panther got divorced. And again, we're talking about comic book characters, but this is just art and creativity. And it's like, is there an agenda? It's so painfully obvious, because the only one that has done a reflection of how Black Panther is supposed to be was the animated version that was done by BET and Reginald Hudlin. And that was, they did not allow that to be aired in the United States. It was actually only aired in Australia once. So it's like, well, why? This was a great opportunity to, on a Black network, promote this Black animated cartoon and, build out the fan base for this character. Marvel has always overlooked Black Panther, always. And even though it's one of his top selling comics, because they just want to push the little Spidey boy.
Okay, so let me, before I promise, Haran, I have a little pushback for Brother Ish. Is Disney or Marvel, quote unquote, anti-Black, or does art imitate life? Let me elaborate, right? Back then, we lived in a very, very racist society and country. Yeah, there's still racism. I'm talking about back then. It was blatant. It was in your face, where black and white films, old Hollywood, there was a film where the white people were saying, I'm free, white, and 21. Like, in other words, I'm not Black and a slave and whatever, right? That's what was going on. We heard it in the music. It was in literature. It was in media, right? Art was imitating life. It was a sign of the times. Whatever's going on is always in our music, in our films, and you know what I mean, in our TV shows. So was Disney and Marvel anti-Black, or were they just, was art imitating life? Were they incorporating characters and environments that were going on in the world? Does that make them anti-Black, or does that make them, hey, I'm just talking about what's going on in the world right now?
Well, let's say this. At the time, the world was anti-Black. Those same individuals are still there as far as top tier executives pushing the baseline philosophy for how Disney products should go out. So why would that change? Even though the world may have progressed.
But it has changed. What do you mean? Why would that change?
The world has not changed. If you just said that racism still exists, that means that racists still exist.
Okay,
which means that
no, but listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Yes, racism is gonna always exist. We're all racist. We are all racist. So that word doesn't bother me. You're racist against whoever. Everybody's racist. Everybody got racism in them. Everybody doesn't like an ethnicity for some reason or race. So that doesn't bother me that white people are racist. Like, we're racist too. Everybody's racist, right? Now, whether or not you're part of a power structure is a conversation, is another conversation. But everybody's racist. Let's be clear, right? What I'm saying is that back in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, as anti-Black, as people say Marvel and Disney was, you would never in your life see a film where you have an all female Black cast and they're all badasses and warriors. You see that today because that's what's going on in today's environment. I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, and the women are coming out and they're fighting about abortion. And it's like, hey, women are on this thing now. Let's cater to them. Let's get these vaginas in seats. Let's get these little girls early. That's really what's happening. You would have never seen that back then. So now art is imitating life once again, because I feel like media and films is like, what's going on? Oh, the bitches are talking now. Let's get them in seats. Let's do Harley and a bunch of girls in a film of her. Let's do the woman now. Let's incorporate Black women. Let's have Viola Davis and a bunch of strong Black women behind her. The women are going to love this. It's like that's on the hoes are going to love this, right? So I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist anymore. I'm saying that art usually imitates life. That's what I'm saying. So you would be smart if you were any executive in Hollywood. If I'm some old white racist, I'm gonna be like, what are these motherfuckers talking about out there? What's popping? What's trending? Well, you know, women are on the rise, and they're talking. Let's all white woman cast. Let's do Ocean's 8. Let's do Harley and her fucking bitches she runs around with. Let's do the Woman King. Who's the hottest Black out? Let's get Viola Davis and let's flank her with 5 Black women, and they're all strong. Wakanda. Wakanda's $1 billion movie. Let's make the female Black scientist the biggest shit ever. Let's add another Black female scientist. Let's get these Black women in seats. We have to get everybody in here. That's how I think Hollywood is really thinking. They're thinking about money. But this agenda, it sounds stupid to me because, and here's why it sounds stupid to me, is because all of us in this country that are of color know racism exists. How much more agendas can they put? How much more agendas can they put on us? We know they're racist. Like, how many more like what's supposed to happen to little Black girls and little Black boys when they go to the theater and see themselves as these larger than life superheroes and see themselves as scientists? Don't you think it would have a reverse effect? Don't you think it would have a reverse effect? If I was a stone cold racist, and I'll pass the mic to Haran, if I was a stone cold racist, the last thing I'm gonna do is put a Black person in the light of a scientist or a fucking king or a superhero. If I'm a racist. If I'm a racist, I'm like, fuck that. Them motherfuckers will never see themselves as kings and queens and scientists. Not on my watch. But because the true God of white people is money, then yes, of course. What do they call themselves kings and queens? Give them a fucking movie about kings and queens. Get the motherfuckers in the seats. That to me makes more sense than this agenda. Because if
that was the case, and Black Panther at its original release was the highest grossing film at the time, then they would have immediately dove into making a part 2 versus dragging it on for however so many years to put another one out. So
That's
I don't
bullshit.
think
That's
that
a bullshit reason.
I
That's
Avatar.
a
don't think that
bullshit.
with them
Avatar.
That's
dragging
a
it out.
bullshit
Look,
reason. That's a
Jones does
bullshit reason.
that. Avatar did that. That's proof of not. That's what they do.
Yeah,
Avatar.
yeah,
Dude.
that
There's
actually
like two,
builds up
three movies. There's like
that
two,
builds
three
up
movies after that.
anticipation.
There's like two,
That
three
builds
movies after that. There was like the Infinity War. There was Endgame. There was another phase they had to go through. There's a bunch of other stuff that's basically tied to a schedule.
I
It's a
see what
storyline,
It's
a
tied to a
continuous storyline.
schedule, but it's not tied to the narrative. That was this section right here is part of Civil War. And it was not even
Yeah.
told correctly because it was actually the end of Civil War. Civil War ended when Wakanda got hit with a tsunami from Prince Namor.
Okay, so you know what? I'm not even going to really entertain that because if we want to talk about what isn't in a lot of these movies, you know what I mean, and what isn't comic book accurate, because I'm a comic book fan. I actually work for Marvel. I can sit here and actually tell you some of the things that, yeah, that's comic book accurate and that isn't. Like for instance, Iron Man. You know how much stuff that's in the Iron Man movies that really isn't comic book accurate? Like taking mine his actual father. That's not his real dad. Iron Man was adopted. His alcoholic problem wasn't discussed in the movies. There's a ton of stuff that I can sit here and talk about that's actually not even comic book accurate. You want to talk about dumb and silly? Have you guys ever really sat down and watched the Thor franchise? Are you serious? The actual moronic Thor franchise, that last movie, Love and Thunder, I didn't even show up for it because I knew it was going to be fucking stupid. Ragnarok was okay, but what you let things like that pass because what? It's not a black movie. Those were amazingly written. Those were you know what I mean. Those were Shakespeare. No, when it comes to you know what I mean this particular franchise for some reason you know it's under a microscope. Well, I'll tell you what isn't really under a microscope as much as it should be. A lot of these slave motherfucking movies ain't really talked about as much as they should be amongst black people. You don't
That's
talk
a
about the
problem.
you don't talk about a lot of those 50 Cent, you know what I mean, shows that essentially you know what I mean, shove stereotypes down our throats every 5 minutes. You guys aren't really too critical about that shit though.
Oh, I'm
That's
But
absolutely
but for
critical
what but
about
for
that.
what
I think it's
I'm not
garbage.
talking
I
I'm
don't
not
even
talking
watch
about I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about collectively. Because if we're going to collectively get into some kind of argument and so on and so forth in these debates, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about the one guy who out of 30 you might have an issue with it. I'm talking about this suddenly this franchise, every time this franchise shows up, or anytime, you know what I mean, the subject of this franchise shows up, everybody gets into this tug of war of what is, you know what I mean, blackness and the agenda and so on and so forth. Let me just say a couple of things. First of all, as you know, like the gentleman on here, you know, I mean, we can all contend that we've been comic book fans for a very long time. So we can also we're also black men. So we can also agree to that there was a time when comic book culture, geek culture, was absolutely racist. Absolutely, white boys did not want us involved in any manner whatsoever outside of being a fucking sidekick or being the comic relief in a lot of these stories and so on and so forth. Now, I remember, I didn't forget when the first Black Panther movie dropped, how white males got in their fucking feelings. They were actually, you know what I mean, troll bombing, you know what I mean, the movie and so on and so forth, complaining that it's woke and yada yada. You know what I mean? A lot of them didn't like the idea of a strong male black lead actually having a franchise. Because a lot of them felt that in some shape or form, it meant the erasure of white males in that comic book space. And just as you might have it, the same kind of energy I saw in black men when they put a black woman in the lead. For some strange reason, a lot of you brothers think that it's the erasure of you. But ironically, at the end of the movie, M'Baku becomes king. Essentially, they're alluding to that. And there's going to be there's going to be a number of spin-offs and so on and so forth. And he's most likely going to get one.
Wait. At the end of which movie?
At the end of Wakanda. Forever.
They didn't just say anything about M'Baku becoming.
After the credits, did I not?
No. They alluded to that. He showed up for Challenge Day.
And he probably lost.
Though he probably lost. They were alluding to the fact that what I mean?
On what you're saying, let's keep in mind, in order for you to even do the challenge, they have to take the flower power from you.
I understand that.
How the fuck are they going to do that when she had to go through all that genetic manipulation just to get the flower power?
But guess what? First of all, they actually planted the flowers. They planted more flowers into the ground, if I'm not mistaken. That's number one. You know what I mean? There was actually a small garden. You know what I mean?
I don't remember seeing that.
There was a small garden. No, when you go get the movie again, there's a small garden and it's growing.
Right.
So there's a small garden. They're alluding, and from my perspective, they're alluding to the fact, the possibility rather that he becomes king. So, and they also said that there's going to be a number of spin-offs, from the movie going forward. Now, I'm thinking he's going to get a movie, but anyway, that's, we're going really deep in the weeds right now. The point of the matter is this: I did enjoy the movie. I didn't see it as any kind of agenda.
You really like that dumbass movie? Really? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I really did like it, man. I really did enjoy it.
Subjective.
I didn't like the fact that they had Sub-Mariner fighting a 12-year-old boy.
Well, wait 1 second. Now, the point of the matter is this. Well, I mean, come on. If we're going to sit here and talk about Namor, I mean, he's not even Mexican in the comic books. I mean, he looks more Asian than anything. You know what I mean? So if we're really going to get deep into the weeds of accuracy, anyway, they most likely changed them because, they got, Aquaman on DC side of things. So they probably, most likely wanted to differentiate him from him as much as possible. That's my guess, even though technically speaking, not even technically speaking, literally speaking, Namor came out before Aquaman. But anyway, I say all this to say, I don't see the need for an agenda because we'd have to be a threat in order for there to be an agenda.
Oh, damn. Shots fired.
And we're not a threat.
I mean, if I'm upset about anything, whatever happened to Luke Cage? That just disappeared.
Well, actually, I think that's coming back. Because you got to understand, all of that came under Daredevil. All of that stuff came under Daredevil, like Jessica Jones, so on and so forth. It was Daredevil first, then the rest of the Defenders came out. So they've been kind of hush hush on where they're going with those other things, and those, on the direction of that other stuff. I think it's going to come back. I also think that the Punisher's coming back.
Okay, so let me do this quick super chat break. Thank you, Joanna Washington. Big supporter of On the Block with Jen. She says, I hate when some say Hollywood or Disney is anti-Black simply because they're telling their own stories. Blacks should simply tell their own stories. Stop whining and create. That's
Ish, did you hear that?
That's actually my sentiment as well.
All right, you guys. You guys have a great night. Play nice, so on and so forth.
We're not gonna play nice because I'm about to ask Brother Ish some shit.
No, but you know what, Jen? I think for Joanna's comment, the only thing I think what bothers some people is the fact ultimately that Marvel's basically white owned, and they're using the Black backdrop and Black characters in order to put more money into their own coffers. So I think that's where a lot of these people get this from. Because, you've got some people, saying they're going to, boycott and they're not going to go see the movie and this, that, and other. And I think that's what it really comes from because there were a lot of people who quick to point out, they're like, first of all, there is no Wakanda. Nothing like this even remotely exists. And the people who own Marvel, they're the ones raking in all your money. So that's, I think, that whole idea of cultural appropriation, that's why a lot of people are upset about it.
So I understand that all they have to do. See, here's the thing. This is what kills me about humanity in general. Like you can't participate and play victim. It's really, really weird. You know how you guys tell women, then fucking leave if it's that bad, right? Then fucking don't go to the movie. Don't fucking go. Nobody go. But again, we're not a monolith, right? We're not a monolith. So some people are going to go see it. Some people are not going to go see it. But vote with your dollars. If you think that Marvel is cultural appropriating and making money off the black dollar, then don't fucking go.
I have to ask one question. I just have to ask one question. And if someone could correct me on this, I'll do the research myself, of course. Has Nike ever invested $1 into the black community?
Yes.
How much?
Plenty of bodies.
Okay. All right. And the NBA?
Plenty more bodies.
Okay, well then there you have it. So
I'm pretty sure they have invested.
I mean, look at all the baby mamas they've created.
No.
On a serious note, I'm pretty sure they have.
You're just going off the rails.
Yeah, he went way over.
You're just going off the fucking rails.
I'm pretty sure they have. I can't be 100% sure, but if I was to gamble,
I'll research it.
I would say they have. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I am very curious because there are a number of brands that continue to eat off of the black population, and I wonder if they're being taken to the
but see, for them to say Wakanda's not a real place and all that and this and that, but in the jungle, in the Jungle Book, that wasn't a real place.
But what about Gotham City? Is
Gotham City's not a fucking real place. Fucking
actually, it's New York. But
it's supposed to be New York City. Yeah,
it is not.
It's supposed to be New York City.
Gotham City takes place in the Bronx after 8 p.m.
It's supposed to be loosely based on New York City, but there's not a such thing as Gotham City.
No. I mean, it
is supposed to be loosely based on New York City, though.
It's no such place as Krypton either. I mean, we can go.
Yeah, Krypton.
No, excuse me, not anymore. Krypton exploded.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for the update.
So to the super chat, Joanna says, I understand Big Truck. I make tacos for a living. Ain't no Hispanic people having a problem with it. Well, fuck, they are on my timeline. The whole Mexican versus indigenous thing. They are having a problem with it.
You mean it's what is it? Mexican versus Native Americans?
Basically, Mexicans against indigenous people. Indigenous people, natives are saying that Mexicans are unfairly claiming Namor as Mexican. So they was like,
oh wow,
make it convenient. Don't claim him.
Jen, where you be? You really be on the block, don't you? You be in all type of little spots.
Your World Kings, this is what we call Hispanic representing. That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing.
He is Mexican though, so why can't they claim him? He's an actor.
Okay, so that was my reply in that debate. You know what I mean? Tenoch Huerta, he's
hold
Mexican.
on. So hold on. So what's the problem? They're saying that the actor is not. They're saying that the original person was Native American and that the actor is Mexican.
No, they're saying because they spoke Spanish or part Spanish. They're saying that now the Mexicans are claiming him, but the native people want to be sure that to tell the Mexicans he's not Mexican. The actor is Mexican, but the character is
supposed to be Native American. That's what I was saying.
Right. So now people are calling out the Mexicans saying, don't claim him just because now he's this larger than life character when you don't even claim your brown people. Which is true. There's a lot of colorism, like I said before, in the Latin community and in the Mexican community. There's colorism as well. So they're like, don't claim him when you don't even claim your own brown people, and he's brown. So there's a whole war going on about that. There's a whole war about going out the black agenda. That's why I say Wakanda, why so serious? Why so serious?
That play they were supposed to be based on the Aztecs. And the Aztecs, well, it was supposed to be a mixture between the Aztecs and Atlantis, right? But the Aztecs is, I mean, I don't know. I guess they're just upset. Whatever. There's no rhyme, no reason.
There is a theory that Atlantis was in the area near Cuba and in the South American region. So there is a theory of that existence there. and that during the Pangea migration of the continents, that's where. So they started looking for Atlantis in that region, and they believe the pyramids that they found underwater outside of Cuba are part of Atlantis. So I can see where they were reaching.
Didn't exist during Pangea, though.
Hold on, but if he was supposed to be an Aztec, that traces back to Mexico, right?
Right. It traces back to the tip of Mexico where it starts to connect with South America. But the whole place is obviously made up, obviously.
I'm going to ask one thing. What do people really want out this film besides just to be entertained? I need to understand.
I just want to be entertained. I want to.
That's it.
Entertained.
Like everybody wants to be like it's like the woke gene of retardation awakened every Black Panther movie.
It's that you have a subset of people that are going to break down every film, and don't matter what film it is. And it's been just like the Planet of the Apes that was broken down like this.
Well, I knew that
all these films are broken down. Some people just watch it. Some people just smoke hella weed and watch it, and they laughing and it's all entertaining. Other people is breaking it down and taking notes and saying this. Other people is like watching it from another perspective. So everything is subjective, which is like the whole point of this conversation. Everybody gonna take something different out of it, depending on what you coming in there watching it for.
Everybody's making it seem like this is the superhero version of Schindler's List. Like it's not that iconic. It's like it's a movie. You're entertained. You watch superheroes kick ass. Like I never seen men saying like this. Ain't no woman gonna pick up a car. She's a superhero.
Bro.
Let her pick up a car.
I want to be entertained, but what I don't want is parts of the movie to make me cringe or roll my fucking eyes into the back of my head.
But Trucker, you know that's a personal choice to be that.
Did you see the movie?
I have yet to see it because
this is what I'm talking about.
Wait, let me say this. Any film that I could take a child to and a child is going to enjoy is not going to make me roll my eyes. It's comic book. It's men and women running around in tights with superpowers.
Again, when's the last time you saw a movie where there was shit that was shoved into it that hit you on a gut level that said, oh my fucking God, made you roll your eyes and back your fucking head?
It wasn't a comic book movie.
Whatever it was, what was it?
I'd have to think about that.
That made you seriously cringe, and you're like, "Oh my God, I don't believe I have."
Big truck. I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm hoping I get the right answer. It'll prove you're consistent.
Go ahead.
Did you have the same energy for the Fast and the Furious?
Are you fucking kidding? That movie was ridiculous. That movie was bullshit. It was
okay. I believe you. I believe everything you're saying now.
They had a goddamn car with a rocket in fucking space. Are you kidding me?
Hey, like the first three of them was fire. I haven't really seen too many more. What are they on like number 9 now?
1 and 5 for me were the best because they had nothing to do with cars. They were just about people and acting. After that, they just got stupid.
So let me get back to the topic, Brother Ish.
Good.
Yes.
Brother Ish, what was the agenda? Since you think it's Marvel is anti-Black and there's an agenda there, you saw Wakanda Forever twice?
Correct.
Right? So you sitting there, you tell us how it was damaging to Black women and to Black men seeing themselves with all these superpowers and having scientific geniuses on screen, showing Black women in college and inventors, showing Black women save their communities, showing strong matriarchs, showing
you're swaying the witness. You're swaying the witness.
I was about to say, Your Honor, you're swaying the witness.
You're swaying the witness.
I'm talking about what was in the film, tangible evidence. So how is that going to damage Black men and Black women? The floor is yours.
Jen, I'm not one to answer that question on this one level. And I hate the movie all the way through and through from top to bottom. So I'm gonna, my thought process on it is very skewed. I can go through piece by piece in relationship to just inserting that you have this intelligent young black girl who if you want to brings out niggerhood behavior in her and doesn't have emotional self-management while being one of the most brilliant people on the planet. And it's like, where was the valuation of even doing, evolving a character like that? And then the pushing of the agenda. Well, I doubt that, but I stand corrected on that, because the Dora Milaje LGBT storyline is in there in the comic books. But so I mean, I'm a geek for the series, so I'm just not one to answer that question, because I can find a lot of things wrong. The fact that they killed off Killmonger, who was the only one that was speaking about self-empowerment and warring against his enemy and really posing an enemy to the colonizer, versus Shuri curiously always flirting with the colonizer. There's all these different little subtle layers of docility and behavior that's being supported versus actually what Black Panther represented. And technically Black Panther is like the Muammar Gaddafi of superheroes. He was not someone who was just like the hip hood homie that was at the club slapping hands and walking around. He was a king. He was a king.
I'm gonna throw a little. Let me stop you right there, brother. I'm gonna throw a big cap at you. I usually throw little caps at people. I'm throwing a big cap at you, and here's why. You have your life, your background. You're docile and kumbaya. Killmonger. The reason why I like Killmonger is because he was talking about scorched earth. Okay, that's why I love Thanos. Scorched earth. All you motherfuckers gotta go. All you weak bitches. Everybody going. Everybody gone. I'm gonna fix this shit. Everybody gone, right? Then he got killed off. Now you're telling me that he was a good representation because he wasn't docile to the colonizer and the girl is and blah blah. But you yourself in your own light, even all the fuck ups, the degenerates, you're T'Challa.
Well, no. But Jen, you know what? I understand exactly what he's saying.
Let me finish, Big Chuck. You're T'Challa. Love everybody black. No matter what. Love everybody black. Killmonger was like, kill everybody.
I'm Killmonger.
Killmonger was not on kill everybody. I disagree.
What?
He was in the movie. Yes, he was.
Yes,
He wasn't on killing. He was on saving his people. He was on saving.
He was not.
What movie did you see?
Yeah, you didn't see the same movie. Film. He was going to sell vibranium weapons to the whole world, and he openly said, yeah, they're all going to fight and destroy each other. Now, the reason why I think so many African-American males identify with Killmonger is because secretly that's exactly what we think. Openly, that's exactly what we say. How many blacks in the manosphere have you said, let it burn? How many? You know I'm one of them, because I say this shit every week.
Haran does. I do. That
if
is
I can get my hands on some vibranium right now, I guarantee this election result wouldn't be what it was.
Yo, that's it. He just said, I'm just gonna do open treason. Okay, all right, Big Truck, you on your own.
No, it's not.
So let me say this in relationship to Big Truck. I hear you on that dynamic, and I'll rewatch the film, even though I hate to get my facts correct on that whole aspect of the
Watch the first one. Watch the first one. Killmonger wanted to kill he said, fuck all y'all left me back there to die. Fuck all y'all.
Yeah, that's exactly how Black Americans, that's how African Americans, that's exactly what they think. They don't say it and they don't openly say it, but that's exactly what they think. That's the reason why they should have never killed him off. But of course they had to. They had to kill him off so the colonizer can work with the Black women behind our back.
I would think, Brother H, you're more Wakandan than anybody else on this panel.
Jen, I was the only person.
No, let me say this, Jen. Let me say this.
One second. When Killmonger beat T'Challa and threw him over that fucking waterfall, I was the only person in the theater cheering.
Wait.
I was like, yeah, fuck him.
I was too, though.
Thank you.
I thought Chadwick Boseman was a terrible cast. I thought they should have never picked
hey,
him. I thought he was the worst choice in Black Panther.
Hey, Jen, I'm just as Wakandan as Brother Ish.
Oh, y'all soft. Y'all believe in saving everybody.
I'm just as Wakandan as Brother Ish.
I'm not.
And don't nobody believe in saving everybody. What you mean?
You know, I am not one that says love everybody in the whole nine. That is not. I've stated it very clearly. I'm a black separatist all day.
He talks about separating.
No, I'm talking. No. I'm talking about black people. The way you feel about black people. We're Killmonger.
Well, I gotta feel, but see that.
I'm talking about the way you feel about black people. They could be the most degenerate person, but your religion has rendered you a it's okay.
No, it's not that. We're not saying that it's okay. What we're saying is that we didn't produce that. That is that what you see in the degenerate black behavior is produced by its oppressor. So that's not something that is innate within us. It is something that has been produced from us. So
I'm
with that,
I'm not talking. Now we're doing the chicken or the egg. The point is that degeneracy is at an all-time high in our community, and we cannot, just because we share melanin shades with people, we cannot accept everybody in.
Okay, so at some point in your life, were you ever degenerate?
Yes.
Okay, so if we made that determination, wait a minute, let me qualify that. Let me finish. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my. No, hold on. Let me finish my point.
I'm gonna mute you. At one point in my life, I was a fucking degenerate, and my father told me, unless you got lawyer money, all right, unless you got attorney money, don't fucking call my line. If you get locked up and get a 15 to 20. If you kill somebody out on those streets, and guess what? Had I did a 15 to 20, had I killed somebody with my gun, it would have been my fucking fault. And I would have had to eat that time. I would have had to eat that time. I would have had to eat that death. I would have had to eat it. So no, even in my trouble, I wasn't like, oh, somebody save me. Somebody save me. It would have been the same outcome if I see somebody fucking up now. If you fuck up, that's on you. I'm that person. So you can't flip that on me at one point in time where you would degenerate. Yes, the fuck I was. And whatever would have happened to me would have been my own doing. I know.
That's fine, but that wasn't my point, Jen. In bringing that up, that wasn't my point.
No, your point was the degenerates have to be helped because the white man made them degenerate. I know what your point is, Brother Ish. I know what your point is. It's not their fault.
What I'm saying.
They're killing each other in the city. We got to save them. Whatever would have happened to me back then would have been of my own doing. That is what my dad told me.
I understand that. But we would not have had the wonderful person that we have now.
Oh, well.
If we had addressed you during your degeneracy.
But that's what happens, so that's life. At the time, I was a fucking menace. So while you're sitting there saying, oh, we wouldn't have had this wonderful person, I could have hurt somebody for good. I could have took a life for good. Period. You don't know. You do not know. And let me tell you something else. I changed my life because I fucking wanted to. I took it upon myself. I didn't have to go to church. I didn't have to join the Muslims. I didn't have to become a Christian. I changed my shit. Me. So you can't flip that on me, because whatever would have happened to me would have been my own fucking doing, not the white man that put us all in the ghetto. Not the slave trade that dropped the Africans off in Puerto Rico. It would have been my fucking doing, because I was of sound mind, okay, and ability. I had a choice. I had a choice to go to school and graduate summa cum laude, or I had a choice to fucking sling rock in the Bronx. I had a choice. There was no white man with his boot on my neck. I had a choice. These motherfuckers have choices. They have choices. And I'm sorry, the fact that motherfuckers keep wanting to go back and save people, that's what has us all fucking behind. Even in the wild, when you watch fucking Animal Planet, they leave their weak behind. Why? Because you could fuck up the herd if we wait for you. They eat their fucking young. That is survival. But we're always either prayed up or kumbaya or let's help the degenerate. That's why we are behind. That is why we are last. That is why we are last. A smart motherfucker, goodbye. Good luck. And if
I agree with you, Jen.
We'll be here for you.
But Jen, you do realize who's the people who try to keep the degenerates in the game, and men would normally kill these people off. Who's the one who always try to include these people, the degenerates, the worst of the community? Who's the ones who try to keep them in the game and include them? Who's the ones? It's religious the women. It's the women.
People. It's religious people.
No. The religions don't do it. The religion casts you aside.
We have a man on the panel right now.
No. That's Islam. That's something else. I'm talking about my religion. I'm talking about Christianity here. I'm not talking about Islam. I'm saying that the black women in our community.
Islam does the same thing.
No, what? They keep degenerates around? I thought they kill them and stone them. They stone these people. They execute and stone these people.
No, they don't.
They do.
Where do you think? No, Big Truck.
The Brotherhood of the Nation of Islam is its own
thing. Where does the nation? What happens when you go to prison?
No. See, they're talking about the Brotherhood of the Nation of Islam. Real Islam that they got over there in Asia, they don't play that shit. They fucking execute your ass. They don't play that shit. Now, this bullshit that we got going here in America, where you got these black women in control of most of this shit, they keep the fucking degenerates in the classroom to fuck up everything for the other students. They keep the degenerates in the community, the Pookies, the fucking Ray Rays. If it was up to the men, they'd all be killed. But these women keep these motherfuckers in the game. I'm not talking about the Brotherhood of the Nation of Islam. That's some shit they started here in order to get these people reading in prison. No, I'm talking about real Islam. Have you been to Dubai a couple of times? Over there, they don't play that shit.
Hey, Truck, let me say this.
No, they don't play that shit in real Islam. I've been in enough Islamic countries. In the real Islamic countries, they keep their women under control and they keep their degenerates dead.
We got you, Big Truck. Brother Ish, you can respond.
We got you. And let me say this. What is done in our practice now, when we have our own land, you will see the same. Currently, we're not in our own land and our own territories. So one thing is only one form of Islam. So there's no fake Islam versus real Islam. There's an Islamic country that has governance over its people and its territories. And there is okay, then show me the real Christians. They're not here in America.
Oh, well, no, there's some of them here, but the real Christians are people like Vladimir Putin. He's an Orthodox Christian, and you see what he's doing right now. Anybody
if you want to go into the real Christians,
anybody who comes to this country gets destroyed. Anybody who comes to this country is fucking bombed.
So you can scream all you want, but it's not going to make you right.
No, I'm screaming and it's real. Turn on the news, it's real.
Bro.
Turn on the news.
Coptic Christians are the real Christians.
Poland this morning, they're not fucking around with you.
Coptic Christians are the real Christians. Everybody else is a spinoff.
So then, Brother Ish, with that point, then why aren't you the spinoff of the real Islam?
In the essence, we are.
Okay.
In essence, we are.
So then Big Truck has a point.
I always have a point. My logic is undeniable.
Fake Islam. He doesn't.
My logic is undeniable.
We're not fake.
No, it's not, Big Truck. No, it's not. Hell no.
Calm down, Big Truck. Calm down. Everybody.
He's the one practicing the fake Christianity. That the
I
Europeans
never said nothing about being a Christian. I never said nothing about that shit.
You said you was a Christian.
When did I say that?
Just a few seconds ago.
Yeah, you did just say you were a Christian.
When did I say I was a Christian?
You just said you were a Christian, Big Truck.
When did I say I would wind that shit back? Show me where it said Big Truck said I'm a Christian.
You just said like a Christian man like myself.
What?
You said I practice Christianity. You was like, that's Islam.
You're changing that shit. I didn't say that.
Cue the Twilight Zone music.
Whoa.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a couple of minutes to go back.
Brother Truck, what you got over there? You got some good shit. I want some.
I don't use drugs.
See, you feeling a bit sensitive right now. All up in my circumference. You act like you want me to give you a fucking hug or something. Let me reiterate. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, I'm bringing up Dr. Giles. I'd like to pass the mic to No Saint, who's been very patient.
I think he's enjoying it.
Hey, I'm trying to find where he said he was a Christian because I heard it too.
You're not gonna find it. I said a Christian like Vladimir Putin.
No, you said you were a Christian too.
Oh my God, I said a Christian like Vladimir Putin.
I didn't hear it, so I can't
No.
deny.
You got 5 people saying they heard it.
Yeah, but y'all didn't even see the movie, so what do y'all know?
Whoa.
What's that got to do with you being a Christian,
Yeah, well, you
hey,
hated
Big
the
Truck,
movie.
you is hella funny though.
You hated the movie so much you paid them $50 to see the shit twice.
Big Truck is comedy though. I gotta give him that.
I supported a black filmmaker because I am a black filmmaker.
Why didn't you just mail him a check instead of sitting for 2 hours and 40 minutes of bullshit?
You support, see, this is the confusion. Wakanda, why so serious? You supported a black filmmaker that was behind an agenda against black people. Make it make sense. The math ain't mathing. On that point, let me read this super chat. Thank you, Haran DeMarco. Haran DeMarco says, Truck is right. Drop them on the vine. The matriarchy will continue to be the dismantling of the black community. Women can be mean, but they can't be cruel and pragmatic. But I also have to insert religion into that. And there are a lot of men standing on that podium preaching the good gospel of love everybody, no matter what. Forgive everybody, no matter what. And it's men up there talking this shit. My brother, my sister, come on up here. Let me wash you of your sins. Okay? There's a lot of men. There's a lot of men doing that shit before you pick off on the ladies. No Saint, welcome to the panel. I hope you
Hey. I see it's live tonight. How's everybody doing tonight? Man, there's so many different ways to go. I'm really the more I hear Big Truck, man. Oh my God. So Vladimir Putin is that's the example of Christianity, which is why I'm not a Christian. That's just nuts. Oh my God. He's definitely on that. He's definitely on that right-wing propaganda, man.
That's his religion. That is his religion. That's undeniable.
I'm still stuck.
I thought communists were atheists. I thought they don't believe that. That's the opiate of the state.
Russia is not communist. Russia is a federation of liberated states.
He is an authoritarian, though. He's an authoritarian.
He's a dictator. Russia is not communist. Period. It's not.
So the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic.
Do you realize that
the
USSR does not exist
to
anymore?
the original theory that religion is the opiate of the state?
The USSR is dissolved since the 90s. It does not exist anymore. Russia is a federation and they have democratic elections.
So they have let go of their fundamental.
You stuttering. You stuttering. Stop stuttering.
Because I'm shocked and appalled.
Listen. Go watch Black Panther a third time. Give them another $25, and then come back when you're ready to debate. Thank you.
Oh, Jen.
But that's a serious question, though, and I'm just shooting the shit here. But Brother Ish, this is what I'm talking about, though, because when I say vote with your dollars, right? Vote, stand on your square, right? You can say there's agendas. Marvel has agendas, and that's where the money's going, right? That's where the majority of money is going, to Marvel. And they're using Black people, they're appropriating, but yet you're like, no, I watched it twice to support Ryan Coogler, right? Coogler. Why wouldn't you say fuck all of that shit, because they shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't be feeding us agendas. This is what I'm talking about. The one leg in and the one leg out. There's no conviction any fucking where. No fucking conviction. Killmonger had the answers. He had the answers then.
I can see the valuation of supporting Ryan Coogler in aspects of what he's doing, and also know the factor that he is part of a machine. That's just how I mean, in knowing these individuals and having interacted with them, I know the dynamics and the power of the dollar when it comes to other Black films being made. So even when I went to go see Woman King, I saw Woman King twice, because I understood the valuation of the dollar, and saying that this is a revenue building opportunity and other Black films can be made. Until we get into a position where we can start sourcing finances from outside sources, this supporting the aspect of Black films being made is still part of my agenda.
So that's see, I can't get with it. Okay, fine. I can't get with it. I can't get with it. So then essentially what you're saying is you're pulling a Kanye. It's like it's essential to work with these white people and these Jewish people because I could become a billionaire, but I'm going to complain the whole way down. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So if you know you have to be in bed with whitey or the Jewish, then shut the fuck up and make your money and then go back to the hood and help everybody. But for me, it's asinine to be in bed with them and complain about their stroke.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's like women when they argue with a man, your dick's small, but you like this dick for 5 years. That is essentially what you're saying. I don't like these people, but I gotta go work with it. It doesn't make sense. If you're gonna support all the way. And if you're not, then stand on that. It doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, it may not make sense. I mean, it's a personal choice, and it's looking at the aspect of knowing the struggle as a Black filmmaker with other Black filmmakers and saying, okay, this is how I'm going to support the Black dynamic of it and the Blackness of it, and then also know what I'm looking at and saying, okay, this is a situation, or this is a circumstance, or this is a condition. I mean, I'm just telling you, I can see both. I can see from both angles. Just like you can turn around and say, you know what, skip it all. Damn what happens. I'm just gonna make my dollar and leave. If you can ignore all the additional atrocities and not make other efforts in relationship to supporting the change for the people, then if you can make that disconnection with the reality that exists, I can also make that disconnection and say, you know what, I'm going to assist this Black man in being able to make other films, because I do like him as a filmmaker. I don't like the choices that they made in the film. I don't know at what aspect of where the screenplay was shifted or who had the hands in it, but I can also see, oh, this kind of supports a white supremacist agenda.
Why is that?
Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta really stop with this. I'm sorry.
What's up, Black TV and the boy and the avatar is fire.
Thank you. Y'all gotta stop. Look, I was watching that movie and I was like, damn it, I hate being on YouTube because I know already before this movie stopped, y'all was already gonna say the same bullshit. Like the storyline was exactly what happened in the comics. They then tried to add a different character, Ironheart. I don't understand what are we trying to say here? This is exactly what happened. The real Black Panther died. He went to hell. Shuri took over the throne. What are we talking about? Y'all talking about how this is about the Black man? No, this is a comic book.
Well, I'm not. Let me say this.
Like, y'all niggas need to relax. Like, I swear to God, I'm sitting there in the movie. I'm like, man, these niggas on YouTube gonna be on some bullshit.
Now, let me say this. You're right. That is in the narrative. That is part of the canon. I just didn't like the choice of casting. That's my issue. I didn't like the choice of Shuri.
Lupita with her finance wasn't. Lupita with her finance was bad casting. Angela Bassett.
Word.
What are we talking about?
She was good.
No,
casting.
Angela Bassett was great casting. I'm not a big fan of Lupita, but that's just.
I liked how Angela Bassett played floating like a turd when she was in that water and she was floating. That shit was amazing.
Like I said, I'm sorry, y'all really like I said, y'all making this way more than it needs to be. Wakanda, it was as good as you can get. It's like, do y'all watch The Office?
No.
Yes.
Okay, y'all remember when Michael Scott left The Office?
No.
And all the supporting cast had to support that for that one season?
No.
Okay, there was a season when the main character, Michael Scott, he got promoted and he left Office, and they had the dude that plays he played in a couple of movies, but basically they were the season had to try to hold based on the supporting cast, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And this is what Black Panther 2 was. Black Panther 2 was basically, hey, supporting cast, you got to support the main lead because the guy's dead. So you guys are making this. It's unless you're gonna bring out a whole nother Black Panther, which wouldn't have worked. So, I mean, there's not much you. It's like a Rocky movie without seeing Sylvester Stallone. It's just not gonna work.
No, but no. They could have brought out another Black Panther.
Different Batman. You've had different Superman.
They could have brought the Golden Jaguar. No, dude, do you know the comics? They could have used Killmonger as the Golden Jaguar. They could have done it, but they killed him off too. And that's the big mistake that they made. They should have never killed his character.
I agree with that. I agree with
that. True.
But I
you got a point. You got a point there. You got a point there.
Yeah, the Golden Jaguar was basically Black Panther continued. You know, I mean, they fucked it all up.
I'm just waiting I haven't heard it yet, or maybe I missed it. I'm still waiting to hear how young Black boys and Black girls, even teenagers, even women in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, I'm still waiting to hear how it's damaging to them to see themselves as scientists, warriors, having superpowers, being beautiful and fit and running shit. I'm still waiting to hear how that's damaging.
Jen, none of them are gonna. Hold on one second, Jen. None of them are gonna point to it. But one of the things you got to understand, Jen, some people, and I think they were, they had a right to say this. They really said that most of the depictions in Black Panther and Black Panther 2 were still based in racism. Here you got a technologically advanced society, and they still using spears. They're still chucking spears. They got blankets that turn into force fields. They're fucking herding rhinos. These are supposed to be technologically advanced people hiding under a force field so nobody can see them. Why are you herding rhinos and throwing spears at people?
They're not regular spears, damn it. They're not
regular. It's still a spear. That's like
it's a comic book.
But I mean, it's in tribute to their key weapon, just like the Japanese tribute the sword. It's the same thing. So
these people are Wakandans. They're not fucking African. They're not regular Africans. They're throwing spears in the future. Really?
Well, again,
Wakanda's African?
Calling black spear chuckers is a very old racial slur, and they're still fucking spears. In the fucking future, we've got the ability to goddamn teleport people on the spaceship that they got flying around like the Nation of Islam got a spaceship, and you still chucking spears?
I don't say like the spears. Now you're saying too much, Big Truck. I like the fucking spears.
Jen, you like it because you would never be called a spear chucker.
I've been called a lot of shit.
No, but Jen, you would never be called that because you're not black. That was a racial slur. So you mean to tell me that even in this technologically advanced society, the people are hiding under a force field, nobody can see them, so they're still herding rhinos, throwing spears, they got blankets on to turn the force fields. Really?
I'm gonna call cap on that. I'm gonna call cap because this is why I'm gonna call cap, because there are a lot of stereotypes that they put on us that we're still gonna fucking do because it's part of who the fuck we are. When you go,
technologically advanced.
Espérate. if you go to Africa right now, there's still people out there using spears.
But these people are technologically advanced.
Well, hold on though, Truck. That's just like if they made a movie about if they made a modern day Geronimo movie. He's still gonna have crossbows and shit. You know what I'm saying?
A tomahawk.
Tomahawk, crossbows, all that shit.
Yeah, but not if he had space technology and he's got the ability to build fucking spacesuits and shit. He's not going to be running around with a fucking electric tomahawk.
Wait a second.
Might, but
wait.
the cultural traditional significance of the weapon that may be what they utilize. So
isn't Valkyrie on a fucking horse and they're like damn near gods?
Yeah, but that's
right. Thor is running around throwing a hammer at people.
Yeah, because Thor had a hammer in Norse mythology.
Y'all getting too critical, man. It's a movie. It's a movie.
Hence my title. Why so serious?
Y'all acting like this is reality.
No, I mean this is healthy geek debate. I mean, it's not, nobody's going to run down the street and like set a building on fire because we're disagreeing about a comic book character. It's just healthy geek debate, so it's fine.
Yeah, but did you do the same thing with Spider-Man? Did you do the same thing with Batman? Like, come on now.
Well,
I actually did.
One thing I noticed, people gonna complain. You can have gold on the streets and people gonna still complain. That's just how it is.
Absolutely. I mean, again, I argue about Star Wars all the time. So I mean, that's just
what about Star Wars?
Huh?
We're not getting into Star Wars. We're
not doing no tangents.
Star Wars was terrible.
Let's get into
the new ones, not the old ones. The old ones were good.
Brother Ish, so if you're saying that there's nothing wrong, right, with Black people seeing those things, so then there isn't an agenda, or you still think there's an agenda with Wakanda?
I think that there's aspects of an agenda that's in certain rewrites and certain aspects of the story.
I'm talking about Wakanda. I'm talking about Wakanda forever.
I'm talking about Wakanda forever.
Okay,
I'm saying certain aspects of their narrative I just did not like, and again. But
is there an agenda? Oh, Dios mío. Wakanda forever.
Yes.
What agenda did you? Okay, but what agenda did you see? Enlighten us. What agenda did you see that was covert, or it's like we gotta watch out for that because that's anti-Black? Like, what did you see in Wakanda forever that's damaging to the community? That's what I'm asking. It's a simple question.
Okay, the behavior of the young little Iron Girl. I mean, it's just like that whole nigga behavior and making that acceptable, and that I agree with you. I think
comic relief.
Regardless of whether or not she was comic relief, that's dismissive to her intellect, and that she's in one of the most prestigious colleges in the country, and then she turns around and acts like a hood rat.
He's right. But on
I do that all the time.
Again, look. I'm aiming.
That was humor.
No, I'm aiming. One. Someone needed to be the comic relief. She was the youngest person there, right? I mean, in the group, in the main cast, she was the youngest person there. Second, what colleges do you know? Because some of the college people I know are fucking hood as fuck.
Yep.
Hood as fuck.
Yeah, but weren't they at like MIT?
Realistic.
Well, hold on. They were at like MIT or something like that, right?
Right.
They were at MIT.
MIT.
Yes, MIT, yes.
So, well, they told me I couldn't do it, so I built it. Come on, man, really? That's the line? Really? Who wrote that? Really?
And that she's hustling the other students, which is fine, on one aspect, but it just shows that regardless of how intellectually profound she is, she still wants to do some low budget hustle for homework. Like,
what are you talking about? Wait a minute.
Whoa. That's every student.
Every fucking teenage film, Black, white, Asian, Y'all are fucking sensitive. That joke of hustling people, like, can you do my homework? That has been in every fucking teenage movie I've ever seen where the backdrop is a high school. You have to be now you're reaching. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm not reaching. I'm showing the comparison, the cross comparison in relationship to that.
They cannot portray you as real black people that exist. Like real black people on planet Earth, they do hustle. Just like every other race. Real black people on planet Earth do talk the way she talks. But you can't put it in a movie. Don't put it in a movie now, even though these people really exist. Don't put it in a movie, because if you put it in a movie, then you're anti-black. Now these people are real.
They may be real, but the conditions and the circumstances doesn't have to always lend to the stereotypes of the nigga behavior. That's all I'm saying.
Because they exist,
right back into that dynamic.
What the fuck is nigga behavior?
Exactly. I was about to address that shit.
Come on, Jen, you know what that is. So let's,
No,
oh my God, I'm scared. Oh my God, come on. There are generations.
No, sir. That girl was not on a street corner. They made her one of the smartest black young girls in any movie we've ever seen to date. A fucking scientific genius. Made a fucking Iron Man outfit. What is nigga behavior?
I can't give you that one, because as somebody who actually gets paid to proofread,
I can't give you that one.
It's that's what it is. I said there's always a hustle in college. You know how broke we are out here?
No such thing.
I said, you know how much if a kid does not want to do the work, he will pay somebody to do it. I have personally received money to edit papers. So what is not a nigga thing. It's everything. I'm like, what you think these rich kids who got in MIT and Harvard really do the work? I said what they showed was, I haven't seen the movie, but if they're showing that, that's a real thing. They always give the work to the black student to do that.
To criminal behavior. That is a consistent narrative of black characters. And you have to own that.
That's every genius, though. I said you are doing somebody else's work to get paid. That's every college student. I'm telling you.
Have we got to the Haitian part? Because I want to hear this.
Did they hate on Haitians in the movie? I don't remember that. They made Haiti look nice.
Because I was in the theater, I was like, "Oh,
well, hold on." I'll be perfectly honest. They
I
really
see that
made
headline.
Haiti. They made Haiti look nice in the movie. They really made Haiti look nice.
Yes, I just watched the movie. No lie, I just watched a movie a couple weeks ago called Takeout Girl, independent film. Great film. She was Asian. Okay.
Takeout Girl.
She was in high school. And they were paying her, right, to take tests for people.
Yes.
And she was Asian.
Yeah.
In a high school, doing the same thing that the black girl was doing in her school. But this is what I'm talking about, the stupidity of the sensitivity, where it's like, if you put black people as smart and intelligent and that's a problem. That's an agenda. If you portray them like 50 Cent does every fucking week on 3 of his shows, that's an agenda. Mona Scott loving hip hop, that's an agenda. But if you make them doctors and lawyers, and that's an agenda. You sound fucking insane, plain and simple.
Let's get this straight. Black people are not smart and intelligent. I mean,
what? No, it's Simon. If you don't get your black, here goes Simon trolling. Simon's trolling. He's trolling.
They're not. Let's be real. Like, look at the statistics. Like, look at the statistics with black men and black women. It's ridiculous.
In comparison,
in comparison to what, Simon?
Hurt your feelings right now. Like,
no, Simon. In comparison to
what? Are you speaking about yourself?
No, I'm talking about general statistics. Like, we're not at the top of the chain. Like, so, like, when you turn around and go, oh, black men and black women,
same educational.
They love to chime in, but I'm just saying, look at the facts. At the end of the day, there's 1, maybe 2% in terms of black people that are doing something natural. That's why you had a black president that was from, he wasn't even black.
He went to City College in Los Angeles.
Yeah, but where was he from? He was from like the island or something. I don't know where he was from. But he wasn't black. He was from Chicago.
He wasn't
for example.
Black.
Exactly. So like you can't claim him.
You're barely black.
I'm totally black. And that's the thing. I'm the only black.
Okay, everybody who's black, move to the left. Everybody who's only black, move to the right.
Where do I go? Middle?
You don't go at all, no saint. You don't go at all.
So, Jen, I want to add something to what I'm hearing.
Please do as the white person on the panel, but let me read this super chat really quick.
Okay.
Thank you, Haran DeMarco, for the super chat. Haran DeMarco says Tony Stark speaks with a profound intellect in the MCU, or does he speak like a bus driver from New Jersey? I'm classified as a high IQ and don't often speak with the degree of complexity I'm capable of. Hello. Same. Twinning. What were you saying, no saint?
So what I'm hearing a lot of, and one of the guys on the panel kind of mentioned it, like you're sort of scared to go on YouTube to see what somebody's going to say about something you like, because you can always flip it around. So let's just say the black girl was in MIT and she was asking a white girl to do her homework. Then it would be, well, what? She can't be smart enough to do her own homework. She's lazy. You can always flip things around. And the only thing I can say, like when Ish talks about, wanting to make movies that are, the movie industry is about making money. So TLC and the History Channel have weird names now, right? Because they don't show history and they don't really show anything about learning. Why? Because people weren't watching it. So you got to think when you're making movies, you got to put things in there to try to attract as much of an audience as you can. And so if you're going to make movies that are true to whatever you think you want to see, it might not get eyeballs. And that's all Hollywood is thinking about. I don't really. Now, I will say this. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, if you look back in the history of Hollywood, when you had, the black woman was a maid or something like, a maid or whatever. Then I can see you having some complaints, but I think now people are just looking for things and looking for agendas. Like if the Black Hebrew Israelites go to see that movie, they're going to see prophecies. And look, the white
love for them to show up.
But yeah, that, like I'm saying, it's really interesting listening because of the things, you can nitpick a lot of things. I don't think, I'm not saying everybody's got an opinion. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes.
You have a good voice, brother, but I'm just saying, like, you don't really know what you're talking about.
If you understand,
that's cool, man. That's all right.
Yeah, he came on getting on everybody. He got on Tristan as soon as he got on.
No, that's okay.
Me and Tristan brothers, that's cool. What the fact of the matter
no,
is,
it's just
you talking about Hollywood? Come on, like,
it's just
you sound like a black person.
Hey, but what about that movie about the what about
that's crazy.
What about the movie about the what about the movie about the black mathematician girls with
the Hidden Figures?
Who was in it? It was
that was a true story though. That was a true story.
Yeah. Now, was there anything wrong with that movie? I thought that movie was a good depiction.
No, there was nothing wrong with it.
And I thought it was a good depiction too. I thought it was positive and it was a true story.
That was the agenda.
So there are good depictions out there.
No, they wanted to show 3 educated black women that didn't need no man.
Yeah, that's right.
Focus was on them. Okay, that was the agenda.
You cannot. Let me say this: you cannot ignore that a lot of times in a lot of these films, there's certain narrative lines that are always pushed. And one aspect of having a white savior in the scenario where that would not even be a realistic scenario. Why would you have your enemies nuzzled up next to you like they have with the CIA? Let me
ask you this, Brother Ish. Who would you make the hero in your movie?
Jennifer.
Who's the savior in your movie? Who's the savior in your movie?
You are, Jen.
Damn right.
Well, Ish, but Ish, that's what I'm saying though. Ish is why would
you have your own production? When you have your own production, the savior is you or people that look like you.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree with the dynamic when you
Oh
said
no, but then somebody's gonna come out. Hey, Ish, you do that and make Jen the savior. Black women gonna come and say, "Oh, he got that Puerto Rican as a savior in the movie." It's always gonna be something.
Exactly. I just think personally, I watched the film, enjoyed it. I don't think that her hustling in her school, like we've seen many people do in teenage movies, white, black, and Asian, right? I don't think that took away even her manner of speaking. She's young. She's a young girl in college. In 20, 30 years, none of us speak the way we spoke when we were 19, 20. I didn't see her manner of speaking or the fact that she was hustling, her intellect, taking away from how powerful they made her. They made her literally a genius. She was literally a genius who made stuff out of scrap. I don't see how her hustling, her intellect took away and it's going to look bad on black people across the universe. To me, it's silly. It's silly to even think. Who's thinking that? Why are you people so fucking pessimistic and asshole-ish? It's
because
so
they didn't make it.
Now the one thing that I found was kind of interesting is that they did not have Wakanda actually touch Atlantis.
What?
What you mean?
Because that wasn't really in the comics. Wakanda actually, this is a war, right? Like they're supposed to make this like a. Now I want you to listen to me. Atlantis is technically not okay. They moved.
You're trying to say black people can't swim, black? Just
no.
listen.
No. Listen to me. Listen to this.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
This is the sneaky part. Atlantis is technically not in the South America. They kind of moved it there to kind of massage some things, right? But Wakanda actually did destroy Atlantis. I think they did that on purpose, not purposely doing that by not purposely touching it. They didn't even touch it. Like what? Two people died in that movie in Atlantis.
Oh boy!
But
I think saying the black women didn't want to get their hair wet. That's what you're saying.
I'm thinking they didn't want to put too much on the black versus Latino thing.
Yeah, no, but actually, no. That's actually truthful.
I can agree with that.
Because in the comic book,
Jen's YouTube channel. That he would be perpetuating something, especially from him being from understanding that doing the black versus Latino thing would not be something that would be good, and I think that's why the ending was adjusting.
Yeah. Have they not seen this channel? All they have to do is just turn onto this YouTube channel and see Jen battling other black community YouTube channels. It's okay. It's there. It's a real thing. Like just put it in the footnotes in the credits like this. Black versus Latino was inspired by On the Block with Jen versus.
Let me speak to that though. I thought I thought there was gonna be a lot of I'm sure there is. I don't scroll a lot on YouTube, but I thought the whole black and brown, the leaning towards the black and brown coalition was beautiful. Like I think there's so many good things that you can take from this movie. The nitpicking to me is stupid. Yeah. And that's not to say that Hollywood doesn't have agendas. We all have fucking agendas. Everybody has agendas, but it seems like when white people do something, it's like Bad Bunny said, like this thing that white people are gods. So when they do something, it means more than when we do it. It has to stop. It just has to stop. We all have agendas. We all have agendas. We all trying to get ours. We're all hustling. We're all racist. All of us, right? Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. When white people do it, it's like, no, they have an agenda. Why don't you have your own fucking agenda?
I'm not racist. I'm a Christian.
But yeah, you're a Christian. You said it. You said it. We caught your ass.
I just said it. I said I'm not racist. I'm a Christian.
Do you see what you just did there?
Oh yeah, you said it back then too.
Yeah. Do you see what
but listen up. I really think that if anything that I was going to nitpick on that, I would say that they still pacified even the black people in terms of the war relations. There should have been blood on both sides. Black people, we lost the queen, we lost somebody else, we lost so many people, we ain't shed a busted grave. We was basically hold on. We're still basically on the boat in the middle of the sea with spears.
And even worse, when they show hold on. I want to point out something. I want to point out something. When the underwater Mexican people were climbing on the boat and they were knocking them off the boat back into the water, that was the worst thing to do because the water is where they're the strongest. Why are you knocking them back in the water?
They're not Mexican. Don't you know the natives are mad at people calling them Mexican? They're not Mexican.
We love Mexicans, man.
No, they're not Mexican. They're underwater Mexicans.
Oh boy.
And Jen, you talking about everybody? And Jen, you talking about everybody is racist? I can't.
Oh wait. What? Are you saying that they're wetbacks? Or is that?
Oh shit!
Oh my
Wetbacks! Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's what he's saying.
I just realized it. How do you think they
emotional.
snuck? Hold on. How do you think they snuck into Wakanda?
Oh,
Didn't you hear them say?
This definitely.
Oh my God!
We're talking about Wakanda, man.
Oh, didn't you hear? They said that they snuck through Wakanda's border defense. Oh shit!
They built a tunnel underneath Wakanda.
They swam into Wakanda. They swam into Wakanda.
Y'all are
Don't you
embarrassing.
see, Jen? It's
racist.
I'm some free D dreams.
Oh, this is embarrassing. Y'all should be embarrassed.
I don't give a damn. I don't care as long as y'all don't get mad. I'm gonna talk about the Popeye's chicken sandwich. All is fair in love and war, okay?
Oh my God. All y'all are going to hell.
Oh my God.
But this is the debate that I was having online where they were saying this Mexican person. No, was he Mexican? No, he was indigenous. I'm sorry.
Underwater Mexican.
No, I'm not talking about the Namor and them.
Oh.
I'm talking about on Instagram. There's a little, war going on between the indigenous people and the Mexican people. This is what I was talking about in the beginning when I started the show. The indigenous people are saying, stop calling Namor Mexican. Stop taking credit for Namor. So even they're serious about this. It's a fucking comic book movie. But now the indigenous people are mad that the Mexicans are claiming Namor. They're saying, stop claiming him. He is not Mexican, but specifically because Mexican people, they have a lot of colorism in their community. So the indigenous people are now saying, don't fucking claim him now when y'all don't claim your brown people. So this is across the board that is being dissected. It's being dissected across the board. And people are mad about it.
I have a real question. Would any of these people would have cared if this movie wasn't as big as it was?
No,
exactly. I say it's because it's going to be the #1 movie. People want their piece of the pie. Everybody needs to sit down, watch the movie, then go home like a normal person.
I'll be seeing whole white people just walk around going, "What is Wakanda?"
Why? I think we should have a good practice of people raising their hand and slapping themselves. Like, why are you asking where is Wakanda?
This is a good point. And it's funny because I was telling this guy earlier, this guy who he identifies as indigenous. I was like, the actor himself, Techno, whatever the hell, Huerta, he's Mexican. He identifies as Mexican. So I think you can celebrate this big Mexican lead character and accept that Namor is indigenous. He's in the movie, they're portraying him as indigenous, like both things are okay. He was like, no, the Mexicans should not be claiming him. I was like, oh my God, like we can't even watch a fucking movie.
Or was he an actor that won the role? Like, what is going on?
Indigenous people, are you talking about Australian people or are you talking about like...
She's talking about Native Americans.
Talking about natives.
Native Americans are not indigenous.
Before Mexico, there was actually people in that area. Like,
how about this? How about the man showed up for the audition, won the audition, and got the role? Is it that difficult? Is it that difficult?
No, because it's like when who played Harriet Tubman? She's from England.
Yeah. That's the same thing. And Black Americans was mad about that.
There's no indigenous people in Hollywood playing a lead role. Let's get that
and what did the guy Christian Bale? He played Moses.
He's not indigenous.
I know he played Moses on the Gods of Egypt. So I mean,
what's that got to do with anything? I'm just saying, like, there's no indigenous people that are playing Hollywood roles.
That's not true. No, that's not true.
Right. So give me one.
Adam Beach, the actors in fucking, there was a big comedy and it was an all native cast. You got Adam Beach, you got the actors in Dances with Wolves.
What's it called? What's the film called?
Oh, you mean Kevin Costner?
Right.
Well, what are you talking about, Kevin Costner, bro?
No, he's talking about Dances with Wolves. That's why he said Kevin Costner.
I don't know. Like, but I'm just let's look. Who's the indigenous person that's playing the lead role right now? Who's that?
Oh, the girl from Predator, the new Predator movie. The girl who's one of those Native Americans in the new movie Prey.
Mm-hmm.
She's at least one I can point out.
What's her name?
is so mean.
I'm gonna look her name up because
you damn right. Yeah, exactly. So you
remember.
This is the thing, we can't remember because it's like it doesn't really exist. Like it's a backlog. So it's like, what do we see things as in terms of like?
Oh yes, her name was Amber Midthunder.
You just looked that up, bro.
I just looked it up. Yes.
Yeah, Google.
What? Please tell me the importance of why does the guy in the movie have to be Mexican or indigenous? What is the importance of it if it's
because they want to see some? Well, I would say from their perspective, I want to when you think about this stuff, you got to put yourself in the other person's shoes to maybe think about where they're coming from. They're coming from that we don't have, like this gentleman is saying, we can't even really think of nobody that's Native American, indigenous right now. We can think of some people, but it's not like it's coming off the hook. It's not like it's just coming out. So they may be saying that they don't have enough representation. Everybody is having a fight for their representation in movies. And if you have a role that they believe that this person was originally supposed to be indigenous, Native American, and then if you have a Dominican play him, if you have a Mexican play him, if you have a El Salvadorian play him, they're going to say that person is not Native American.
Right.
And
so they're going to have a problem with it. I can see where they're coming from with that because Black people, we have done that as well. White people have done that. Everybody has done that before. Asian people have done that. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? That's fine. But if I'm Ryan Coogler, I'm trying to sell a movie. I am not going to put in anybody because of their ethnicity in a film. If you cannot win the role, you ass out at the camp out. It's not that difficult of an equation.
Come on, Tristan.
Win the role.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what Ryan Coogler does. Is he's known for like he did the Fruitvale Station. He's known for doing predominantly Black movies. So he does do that.
You're right.
Maybe like the brother said that's from England. I don't know where he's from, but maybe like he said, there's just not enough of them out here that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you have a who's who to pick from where you got 20 motherfuckers, you got 20 indigenous Native American actresses and actors that can at any time play these roles. Like we have, like we got Black American actors like Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in power. He played Jackie Robinson. He played Thurgood Marshall. He played James Brown. He played all these people. So we have people that are Black Americans that can play these roles. Maybe they're coming. I'm just saying, maybe from their perspective, they're saying that we don't have that representation.
That's not representation. That's representation and talent. I said Chadwick Boseman can change his accent to fit any role.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. But you guys look
I
at
don't see nobody from The Chi on any blockbuster movies.
Hold on, hold on, the dude from The Chi. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go and get into it.
Dude from The Chi was on a New Edition. He was on a New Edition.
You can have skill, but you still need the talent.
Wait a minute,
dude was on a New Edition movie.
But what about the guy who played? Y'all know the guy who's on Training Day? The guy with the mustache.
Denzel?
Ethan Hawke?
No, the Mexican
I know who you're talking
guy.
about. The one that played. He's not Mexican.
He's New Zealand, right?
Yeah, he plays every race. He's played like 5 different ethnicities. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
But I mean, at the same time, I could see a person of Latin descent saying, "Yo, like, why you keep bringing this dude who ain't even he just so happened to look like us, and he does a great job. But like, come on now.
See, but that's just again. It's again. No matter who's complaining, I still see it as belly aching. Fuck, get off your ass. Or I spoke about John Leguizamo wrote an open letter about Latin representation in Hollywood. Motherfucker, you got 8 figures in your bank account. You have a network and a contact list of a bunch of Latin artists who are 8 figures as well. Do your own fucking movies. There are kids with iPhones making movies. Why don't you, with your network and your net worth, why aren't you being the representative for Latins and making your own fucking films? Why are you writing open letters to Hollywood? Stop begging when you go sit at someone else's table. Stop fucking begging. It is tiresome. It is redundant. It is stupid. If you're in a position to do for self, stop with an open letter. Going into the year 2023, you're still writing open letters for representation in Hollywood. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. I do want to get to this this point. Joanna Washington was talking to Brother Ish. She says, you're saying the white man made blacks degenerates. Wrong. She also says, Brother Ish, with respect, please stop blaming white people. It's sad. I agree 100 fucking.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry, I agree 100 fucking million%. Again, going into the year 2023, to hear people saying, well, the white man put us in this position. Well, the white man got us in the get with the white man, with the white. Again, like Bad Bunny said, stop making white people gods. You give the power to these white people. You keep regurgitating and perpetuating. The white man is doing this to us. We got to save the other people because the white man ain't doing a motherfucking thing to me. Not one motherfucking thing. You hear that, No Saint? Not one motherfucking thing. Ain't no white man keeping me nowhere.
That's me.
Ain't no white man keeping me nowhere. Ain't no white man putting me nowhere. Ain't no white man stopping me from doing a motherfucking thing. And I grew up in the worst of the worst, South Bronx.
Okay.
So I agree with Joanna. We have to stop fucking saying that. You sound stupid. You sound like you're on the fucking plantation. No, massa, let me out, please. That's what it fucking sounds like. Let it the fuck go and do for self. Whether you're John Leguizamo or some other fucker in the hood. Let it the fuck go already. That's our problem.
Jen, you got to work on your slave voice. You got to work on
Jen be real, like Jen be real, like that's some serious stuff.
Wait, can I say one thing? Can I say one thing?
Thank you. Put that out there. That's real,
hello.
He's like, don't you start no trouble with them good white folks. No troubles here. All right.
It's still subpar, but we'll work on it. Okay.
I'll work on it.
Yo, winter's coming, like, bro. Like, these women be out here.
I agree with
you. Like, this is wrong.
On that point,
I can't have Simon.
We're trying to save them.
Can everybody pause for a second? Now I'm guessing
Tristan,
we have to track back
in the same live. Okay,
right? Exactly. It's legendary, sadly. But anyway, like I was saying, I guess we did use our black privilege and said an offensive term, which Veganista has a very big problem with. She's been a big supporter of us for a while, and whoever said the wet bank comment kind of has to apologize on that, please.
Yes.
Who said it?
Who said that? Who said the wet bank?
Somebody had to say it because Veganista don't go off like that.
Okay, all right. I will.
Tristan be chatting some shit, man. Don't worry about it.
You can get the fuck off my live.
No. That's fine. If anything was said in jest and it came off as offensive, I will be man enough to apologize because you may not get the humor or the timing.
Well, no, but it's a black privilege thing because black people we have to admit we say racial things and we don't get the same backlash as other races do.
Wait. What?
No, that's true. And that's a good segue.
So let's
true.
just.
I have an example.
That's not true.
We are not going to use that on. We are not going to do that on Beyonce's internet. No, stop.
Let me tell you what happened to me today. Let me give you an example. Let me tell you what happened to me today. I was in a debate with a girl online. She was black, and she told me. Now we were talking about some porn star chick or whatever, and I said, "Oh, that girl looked dusty, right?" And the clap back the girl had for me was like, "Okay, Mexican roach, go back in your box." It's fine. Now I'm not Mexican, but I know black people have this reoccurring joke that it's like everybody who's Latin is Mexican. Fine, I wasn't offended. I was like, okay, cool. This is like the go-to joke. Great.
Well, most
But my response to her was, "What's wrong, Shaniqua? Are you about to sweat out your wig glue, or did Popeyes run out of the chicken sandwich?" Wow. The response to me was that I was racist. So Tristan is absolutely right. How is her saying Mexican cockroach go back in your box not racist? But when I tell her you're about to sweat out your wig glue, the Popeyes run out of the chicken sandwich, how am I racist now? So there is a privilege. Everybody has this.
No, that's not a privilege. They both were. They both were in the. They both. You guys were cutting on each other.
I agree. That's what I said.
Yeah, they had racial undertones to them, but it wasn't like she had more privilege. Because if she got more sensitive about it, that doesn't mean that she had more privilege. That just means she got more sensitive.
Well,
here's the thing and I agree with you 100%. I was like, let's roast, bitch, because this is what I do, right? And I was ready. But she hit me with the, "Oh, you racist, and I'm like, no, I thought we were playing the race shit. What happened? That's where I was with it. Like, I don't mind. I'm like, we could go back and forth. We could do the roasting thing. But when I clap back, then I became the racist, which tells me that she wanted to hide behind I'll just say this is racist. I can say what I want, but I'll hide behind, I'll just call it racist. Right? So that's the problem.
I agree, because you take a person like Andrew Schultz, and it's like he's borderline on a lot of things, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I've heard us say some stuff too, so but I just can't take 10 Andrew Schultz. It's only one of y'all could be racist. Out of every race, one person can be racist, but I can't take 10 of y'all clapping on us. Pause.
So it's true. So okay, veganista, E Black apologized. E Black was the one that said it. E Black apologized. I hope that is okay. He did apologize. We have to let people apologize. That's another thing. We have to let people apologize.
Yeah.
Where's Veganista from?
I'm not sure. Veganista, where are you from? What's your ethnicity? I'm not sure. I just know she doesn't eat cheeseburgers. Brother Ish, do you have a response for Juwana's comment, which I agree with? Do you have a response? She says that you keep blaming white people.
Is it because Damien's not on? She's coming for Brother Ish? Is this?
She. It don't matter if brother Ish ain't here. She gonna come for me.
Nah, Ish is busy watching the movie a third time.
Nice.
Y'all shit tonight. Y'all ain't shit.
It's okay.
Man, Brother Ish, go and get on her, man.
My feelings, so I don't even get off into that. So we good, bro. In truth, you gotta, in my opinion, and we talk about. Yes, man. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Okay, so you go in another room, okay? my 3-year-old gets tired of me.
She said it's time for you to log off, buddy.
Yeah, she's like, "Daddy, be quiet."
Daddy, log off.
She ready to come get Juwana. You had to hold her back, huh?
Right, I had to hold her back. She's like, "Be quiet. Let me handle this one, Dad." No, but I would say, in truth, we have to acknowledge it's. I believe that it's significant for the. Huh? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
I want to see the movie a fourth time.
Come on, big truck. That's not nice.
That was not nice. What are you talking about?
That's a kid.
Well, she wants to see the movie.
Yeah, it's just like and sometimes I think when you do such a good job playing the role, no matter if you're like all of a certain descent, but you may not be that specific one. Like, I don't remember, maybe Jen or somebody else on the panel can say if they do remember. I remember when J-Lo played Selena. I didn't really hear any backlash.
No, there was a lot from the Mexican
was it? Okay. Well, I stand corrected then. Okay.
They did an audition.
She did a hell of a good job, though. I mean,
but that's Hollywood.
She did her damn thing on that one. I could understand if she fucked it up, then y'all could have did, but but shit.
Well, not just that, but I mean, what they're gonna put people that are gonna draw a box office. So it's like, who's the other choice? Salma Hayek? I don't think she would have done it. I mean, that's not really a. So I mean, that's the thing. They're gonna put. So you're gonna put somebody. You might put, say,
yeah, but
Brad Pitt
Jennifer
playing
Lopez
Brad
had
Pitt.
the same body structure and everything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you're gonna put somebody in there. You might put a white person playing a different ethnicity because they have a huge box office draw, right? Than the unknown.
Controversial.
Yeah, or over the unknown Native American actor that nobody knows about. So it has something to do with that too.
I think it's somewhat the fact of there is a historical context to it. Like I said, with Harriet Tubman, it was kind of tough on me because the person who played her is such a great actor, but you also get the feeling like, gosh, man, you couldn't got a black. This is Harriet Tubman. You couldn't have gotten a black actor to play this role. But I understand.
You just live somewhere else. Eat black style.
An American black.
Yeah, that's a difference though. It's a difference, Jen.
It really is.
I hate to nitpick. It is. It's a difference.
It's not different because
it's
Hollywood,
different.
No, this is why it's not different, because it's not happening in your living room. It is not personal. Hollywood is a business. Whoever's popping at the time, that is who gets cast. They're not in the business of your feelings. Why do people?
I know that. I'm saying, but we all can comment on it though. I mean, we're not gonna stop it. We didn't stop it or nothing.
Of course,
we're just commenting on it. We're just.
But it doesn't make sense.
But it's not the same though.
But now you're splitting hairs of who's black and who's not black enough, and who's black over here and who's black.
It's not the same.
I'm not saying that she's not black. I'm just saying that she didn't represent the true American black.
Yeah, she's not a black American. It's not the same.
Especially, it's like.
Did she do a good job in the movie?
Oh yeah, she did a great job.
I didn't see the movie.
I would have just loved to just seen an American black woman do it.
Because I'm sure, what was it? The King of Scotland. I'm sure Africans.
You mean Idi Amin?
Yeah, that Forrest Whitaker played Idi Amin. I'm pretty sure Africans have some backlash because it's not the same.
A few of them that had electricity to see it.
Oh my God!
Who are you?
Trust.
Oh my God!
Trust. Stop.
What
my
is happening?
God.
And I'm laughing. I can't help it. I hate this.
He's black. Yeah, you came back on the craziest night. Brother Ish, do you want to respond to Joanna saying y'all always blaming Whitey?
I mean, well, I'm always going to blame Whitey. Let's yes. And you want to know why? It does not stop me from going to do for self. It doesn't stop me from being a separatist. It doesn't stop me from pointing out the factor of where this was the cause of the problem. So if you understand where the cause of the problem, you know where to start separating yourself from the problem, to stop disassociating yourself with certain behaviors, lifestyles, or thought processes. So it's not a problem to sit up there and say, okay, that man right there, let's take it on to a male-female context. That man right there raped this young little girl. From that point on, she is now a prostitute. That from that whole trajectory, what was the source of her pain and her problem? And until she actually addresses the source of her pain and her problem, can she start making better choices in her life? So there is a valuation in reviewing your history and identifying where the problem began.
Using that ridiculously extreme case, then what you're saying doesn't match up, right? Because the white men that enslaved us are long gone, right? Like they're long gone. Like a rapist of a woman is still around. So you got to make sure you lock his ass up. You got to keep him away from other women. But to me, like the perpetuation, the regurgitation of constantly saying white people, white people, white people, even if that rape victim, if she doesn't stop talking about him, she stays in a state of being a victim. right? She doesn't heal from it. She's constantly, he raped me, that guy, he raped. Who are you talking about? He raped. 10 years later, he raped me. Who raped you? They put that man to death. He raped me, You have to fucking move on and deal with the trauma. So what do you think is going to happen to Black people? They're constantly the white man. We're degenerates because of the white man. We're degenerates because of the white man. Because the white man put us here. The white man made the ghettos. The white man dropped the CIA and Reagan dropped crack in the hood. White man. What do you think is going to happen to us?
Well, understand the dynamic is that when you identify where the problem is, when you identify the source of the issue, then you can address the issue. That's the whole point. It's not just standing there pointing at the white man, but it's what are we going to do about that? How are we going to address these issues? How are we going to make a change in the Black community regarding Black unity? Hold on one second, guys. I'm sorry. I got to deal with my child. I'll be right back.
Deal with the baby. I said this on Facebook before, and people were like, oh, they dropped their teacups and their Hennessy bottles and they clutched their pearls. It was just horrible. I said a child in our communities has a better chance not knowing a motherfucking thing about slavery and just raising them up regular. People, how dare you? They have to know we were enslaved. They must know that we were less than the white man. Everybody was up in arms. Everybody got so fucking mad. But I don't see the fucking benefit. You have a baby, you teach them. Motherfuckers are sick, maniacal. They could come in your shade. They can be Asian. They can be white, they can be Black, they can be Latin. That's what you have to teach a child. Watch your six, keep your head on a swivel, because motherfuckers out here are snakes, and some of them look like you, and some of them do not. I just don't understand the bombarding that we do to our children. We were slaves, we were less than, we're the Black, and they're the white. We're the Black, and they're the white. We're the opposite of white, we're the Black. I don't see it. I think it fucks with a child's psyche, and then you grow up thinking, well, I was enslaved and I'm Black and I'm opposite of white and I'm less than. It's just me psychologically.
But that's not what's being taught.
I would not bombard a child of color, okay, Latin or Black, because there was enslavement amongst the Latin community and the Tainos were almost wiped out and all of that shit. I just wouldn't do it. I think it's giving white people too much fucking power. And I'm not gonna sit up and talk about this big monster that came and got us one time. You can teach a child, again, you can teach a child to stay out the fucking street. You could teach a child to not be on drugs. You could teach a child to not be a fucking degenerate without letting them know, well, all of this is because of the white man. Like, that's just my opinion. And I'm fucking sticking to it. I'm not giving white people no credit.
And that's fine. And I'm not here to change your opinion.